it's food, it's recovery, and training. It's got to be. It's a package deal. It's all got to be. That's good.
All right, what's going on, fam? We are back with another podcast, but this time we have a client doing his first ever show. Pete, welcome. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Peter. Yeah, like Andrew said, first time competing on stage, classic physique, season C IFBB. See, Andrew's my coach. Um, and yeah, we just thought to just jump on and kind of have a bit of a chat today about my experience as a mature age
Mm.
first time competitor.
Yes, that's right. Letting everyone know it's never too late.
Never
So
too late.
one of the things I wanted to jump on was obviously a lot of people get scared, of the like a first prep, getting a coach. It's so many unknowns, right? So many variables where people are like, I don't know what it entails. Some people jump in because they don't know. Other people jump in because they're scared that they don't know. So there's
Mm.
two ways you can look at it. So what we want to know is what made you commit? What made you, instead of just getting in shape and looking your best, what
Mm.
made you be like, nah, I'm gonna do a fucking show?
Well, so just a little bit of a background on me, where I've come from in the past. I about 6 years ago, I was 158 kg, really unhealthy, overweight, just the typical. I was kind of fit in my 20s, and then marriage, and then you just stop looking after yourself. So this was literally when COVID hit. Um, Went through some family stuff, and which kind of pushed me to make the decision to lose weight. Now, I did it probably the wrong way. I still lost the weight. I lost 50 kilos in the end. So actually more. I got down to 99 kilos on the dot, but I lost it way too quickly. I didn't do any kind of weight training. It was all fasting, calorie depletion.
Mhm.
Just the wrong way to do it. Um,
So you would have felt like shit during those times.
oh, I felt
Yeah.
terrible. It was a constant battle. It was, it's really amazing what the mind can do when you're dedicated and you really, really want to hit a goal.
Mm.
I never thought I had that kind of, I guess, willpower and mental strength to be able to push through. Like I had days where I was working on the tools as a plumber as well in Melbourne. So I wasn't sitting behind a desk all day. I was actually on the tools, up and down ladders and digging holes and all that kind of stuff. So it was a struggle. But look, I did do it the wrong way. I actually lost all that weight in less than 6 months, and that's
Yeah, that's a lot.
58 kilos in less than 6 months. That is just not the right way to do it. And then I had the issue where, because I lost weight so quickly, I also had the issue with skin, loose skin as well, which I've had sorted out, as you know, Andrew.
Yeah.
Went through and had a medical procedure to remove that, which has worked out pretty well actually. So yeah, I made a decision to lose weight, and I became what do you call it, skinny fat,
Yeah, skinny fat.
skinny fat. So I'd lost a lot of weight, but I looked okay in a t-shirt. But out of a t-shirt, I looked terrible. It just wasn't the right way to do it. So I made the decision myself to jump into the gym, and I kind of went in blindly. Look, I used to train when I was in my early 20s.
Hmm.
I've only been back in the gym properly now doing weight training for 3 years, probably. But I did train in my early 20s. But as most guys do in their early 20s, when they're just training with mates, they don't do it properly. They don't really know what they're doing. They just go in there and just, it's usually always chest Monday, and just that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Weekend
It's
warriors.
Yeah, yeah. And then you'd go out on the weekend and just drink the whole week away, and it was just a young kid, so I didn't really know what I was doing. Um, and I I'd gone through all this hard work of losing the weight and wanting to gain muscle, and I was starting to slowly see progression because, as you know, that there is muscle memory there. So I think some of it from my younger years was coming back, and I actually I was training at Winter Gardens one day, and I heard this screaming, screaming through the gym. I can't remember the fella's name, but you were training there with
Would
a.
have been Callum.
That's it, yeah,
Yeah,
Callum. That's right. You were training there with Callum, and I think you were doing legs, and I reckon that you were doing laying hamstring curls.
yeah.
So I remember walking behind you, and I saw this absolute monster of a set of legs. Like I've never seen such, honestly, such wide, thick hamstrings before in my life. You must have been, you were, obviously you were in a growth phase at that
Yeah,
time. Um, and I just saw your physique and Callum's physique as well. Like Callum
yeah.
had a good
Callum's
physique
good. Yeah,
too. And I just said to myself, I thought to myself, I said, I may never look like these guys, but I'd like to give it a go. Like I'd just like to see what it's like to actually. I've lost the weight, and now I've made my mind up where I want to build muscle.
mm.
And yeah, so I
You
kind of
wanted a
decided,
physique, not a body.
correct, that's
Yeah,
right. So I was, and look, don't get me wrong, it took me ages. Like it
mm.
took me a while to make the decision to actually, like probably close to 12 months for me to actually go, do I want to get a coach? How do I want to go about this? So I started off, I was actually living in Walkerville, and I started off going and seeing a PT or once a week to work on my weak spot, which
Yeah,
Andrew, is my legs.
legs, yeah.
And it was good. It was all right, but it wasn't really. It didn't really. I didn't really see much benefit from it because it wasn't the whole package deal. So it
Yeah.
wasn't the nutrition. It wasn't. Obviously,
He
I'm an
wasn't showing you
enhanced.
the life of what you need to do. He was just
Yeah, it
showing you
wasn't. Yeah,
one little window of training. That's
yeah.
it.
Basically, teaching me how to train legs and do a squat and that kind of stuff, which is
Yeah.
great, which everyone needs to know. But you also need to know how important, and I can't stipulate this enough to anyone who watches this. It's like the whole. Most people have the whole order wrong. It's food,
Mm.
it's recovery, and training. It's got to be. It's a package deal. It's
Yeah.
all got to be in line with each other. And I wasn't aware of this, and I wasn't seeing any kind of progression.
You see,
And
probably
look,
didn't even monitor your volume or anything.
no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. It was just catch up on a Saturday, like what you and I do on a
Uh,
Saturday, and just
you
do a
just
Saturday
train.
leg session.
Yeah.
But except he was training me. We weren't training together or anything.
Yeah.
Um, so and then I started, just on YouTube. I remember I was just watching YouTube and I saw Chris Bumstead for the first time actually, and I was just like, I actually watched an actual a bodybuilding show on TV on YouTube, and I saw the classic physique boys, and I'm like, I like that physique. I like the way it aesthetically looks. And I thought to myself, I've got the height. I'm 6 foot, 6 foot one, 6 foot. I'll just claim 6 foot one.
Yeah.
Um, and I've got a large back, and I've got this, the smaller waist. I haven't got the legs, which is what you need for bodybuilding, not so
Hmm.
much classic. So I kind of thought to myself, I'd really like to give that a go and see if I've got that in me to get myself to a point where I could potentially get on stage. And even if it's just once, it's that bucket. It's just that one thing I've always wanted to try, and I thought I'm going to give it a go. And think to myself, who could I speak to, and who would be a good person that I could talk to more about this? And I reckon about 2 weeks later, I actually bumped into you
Mm.
at I can't remember where it was off the top of my head. I
I'm
bumped
sure
into
it
you,
would
and
have been
you.
Windsor.
It probably was. It probably
Yeah.
was. And we had and you stood there during your training session, and you talked to me for 10 minutes, like, and actually seemed like you gave a shit. You know what I mean? Like you actually cared. You were really. And at the end of the day, you've got to be able to relate and kind of connect with your coach as well. I don't understand this people that have a coach and they don't have that, almost not, like that, just that connection and with them where they can communicate with them openly. Like
Yeah.
I know that I can be completely honest with you. You can be completely honest with me. If I'm not pulling my weight, you'll tell me
Yeah.
straight away, and that I won't go running and and hiding and like, oh, you don't speak to me like that. Like, there's been a couple of times, like especially my posing, where you're like, mate, if you send me that crap again,
Yeah.
not having it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like get your ass
Get
and
the
my
lighting shit together. Yeah, fucking
yeah, all
yeah.
that, all that. You know, and my posing has got a lot better, and it's that little kick up the ass that you need sometimes to actually um, you know, get you from that up to that next level. And I think that you need to have that relationship with your coach where they feel like they can do that, and you feel like they can do that, and it's you just realize, okay, well, at the end of the day, he's doing this for a reason, or she's doing this for a reason. I need to listen, and you're the expert. I'm not. You
Mm,
know, as I'm the young apprentice. Like so you have to trust the coach as well. Like as you know, there's been a few times during the prep where especially when it comes to me with weight, like my weight's like
yeah,
all over the
being
place.
muscle fatigue. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just have to be able to trust the process. And I feel like I trust you enough to trust the process where we're what, how many days out are we? We're
I
nine
reckon
days out,
10. Yeah, 9 or 10.
9 or 10
Yeah.
days out, and I am just feeling so confident. I've had some stuff that's happened in the last few days, and you've been there to support me and just kind of go, "You'll be right, mate. We'll get through
Yeah.
it, and we'll." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, your weight's
so
like, my weight's gone over my head. Don't worry. You just relax.
yeah, yeah.
Relax.
Just relax, just chill out. Um, so I think that I'll be honest with you, mate. I think that meeting you and actually already having the idea in the back of my mind that I wanted to try, but then meeting you and actually having a proper conversation with you, you're probably the reason why I've actually done this, to be
Mm,
honest. Um, because I I truly believe that you need to really have that tight connection. You need
mm.
to really be on the same level as your coach to be successful and to actually to enjoy the experience. And I'll be honest with you, mate. Like we'll get into this later on, obviously, but the way that you've prepped me for this show, guys, I
Yeah.
do not know. I do not know why guys go out there and they just chuck on weight, and then 12 weeks out, they're like, all right, I've got to drop 20 kilos now.
So what was harder, losing your first 50 being fat fasting or getting like sub 5% peel? What was harder?
It was harder losing the 50 kilos.
Yeah. So you think it would
Mentally, it
be the
was
other way
harder.
around. You think it
Mm.
would be harder to get peeled.
Well, that's right. That's right. But, and a lot of the times it's because you're obviously, you're depleted by calories, by carbohydrates. As you know, I struggled a lot with the low carbs. Doesn't suit me at all. But
Mm. I don't
because
think anyone likes low carbs.
no, I mean, I remember, like I said to you, that when we had those low carb days, I'm driving home from work, and I don't even remember driving home from work. I was just that zonked out. And I'm getting work phone calls, and I just felt like I was drunk. Um, but yeah, it was. Oh, I lost my train of thought. No, it was at the end of the day. I truly believe that you need to be ready mentally for it, and I was. I just needed that person to help me guide me to where I
Direction.
needed to get to. Yeah,
You need
that's right.
direction.
And thankfully, I met you, and we had that combo. And I was just, look, I asked around about you as well, obviously beforehand.
Yeah, you have to.
Have to. No, you have to. Like,
Mm.
I spoke to, and there was no one said a bad thing about you at all. They
Oh,
just,
well,
they
you're
just
at least a
basically,
couple.
no, no, no. A lot of people just mentioned that you're just really dedicated to the sport, and you're also, and I didn't realize this at the time because we just met, but
Mm.
you're also really into the, um, I don't know, the chemistry of it.
The chems, yeah.
You
The
you
pharmacology.
yeah, you're really into the pharmacology, and which a lot of people aren't. Like people that are people that have been in the industry for a long, long time, they come and speak to you about stuff. Like they ask you questions that have been they're probably in the industry twice as long as you have.
Which
But
is funny as
you,
well because like you those people that you ask you what you're on, they think you're lying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So obviously, I'm an enhanced athlete, but I'm pretty much running what would classify TRT. That's what I've been
Yeah, a
doing
little bit
pretty much
elevated.
the
Well,
whole
we're
time.
on. We haven't pushed you over 2 mil test.
Mm.
And that's in off-season and in prep. The highest you've been on is 2 mil test.
Yeah, that's right. So,
That's it.
and I assume that that's not very much compared to some other people out there that may have, be have periods of time where they run a lot more than that.
Mm,
But also I believe that less is best as
yeah.
well. Also because I'm 40, 42, yeah,
Mm.
42.
What is, let's just say
Um,
over 40.
yeah, I'm over 40.
Yeah.
So my health is obviously important to everybody, but
Yeah.
as you get older as well, you know, our main thing has been just maintaining my health and making sure that I'm fit and healthy every day.
You'll remember
Um,
as we went through prep, your blood work's only improved.
I know. How's
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't expecting that
Yeah.
at all. I mean, when I obviously sent the bloods off to you, and your response was like you were just over the moon, super positive about how good it looked. I was just like, well,
Mm,
obviously we're doing something right, aren't we? I mean, the I'm not going to lie, like the amount of vitamins I'm taking is just huge, but it's
yeah.
obviously they're all there for a reason, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my morning routine is maybe 14 and tablets, and my night time's probably 8
Yeah.
or 7. So then they're all there for a reason, and everything, like I said, it's a package deal.
Yeah.
If you do everything right, your food, your recovery, your drugs, if you're that way inclined, your training, and you just do it all correctly, then you can do it healthy. And you know what? Like that was one of my parents. When I told my parents that I was going to be doing this, like they're not silly. They understand
Mm,
what bodybuilders do. Mum, especially, her one of her main things was, she was concerned about my health. And I said to her, I said, look, I've got a coach who knows probably more than most doctors do
yeah.
about, probably actually
GP.
definitely knows
Yeah.
more
GPs
than
anyway.
than GPs, and about the way the body works and reacts, and how to keep it healthy. And I trust him wholeheartedly. He would never put me in harm's way, and that those blood works prove it.
And I guarantee like if you continued your life at the 160,
Oh, mate.
that would have been unhealthy.
And you know what the other thing is that I've noticed since I have lost the weight is I used to get chronic gout, like
Hmm.
chronically bad gout in my big toes, where I'd be off my feet for 3 or 4 days. Now that's a lot of that. A lot of that was diet related
Yeah.
and weight related, but
Yeah, you're probably on the brink.
even
You probably had, insulin resistance. You're probably type 2 diabetic.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even after I lost the weight, I still had gout. I still had it when I was at 100 kilos. And I was just, because I was doing the fasting, I was doing the OMAD 1 meal a day, where I was just having that gigantic dinner meal. I was just still eating crap.
Yeah.
Instead of, I was eating one really crappy meal of, say, 3,500 calories, and then fasting all day. And then I was going to the gym and training after not eating anything for 22 and a half hours.
Mm.
Like I literally was just on water and black coffee and, the old sugar-free energy drinks, you know. Um, so I was, like I said, I was skinny fat, but I was still unhealthy. Like I still didn't sleep well. Like I said, I still had gout. I had arthritic kind of feeling, and I just
Mm.
wasn't. I had inflammation, I guess you could say. Inflammation was through the roof still. Um,
Fasting that long, like even your insulin, like your sporadics, like it would have been all over the place. Your blood glucose would have been up and down. Even
mm,
just sodium and hydration, you do it because you're not eating. Nothing. There's nothing to hold on to it. The water would have flushed through you.
yeah, yeah, and this is so. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not bagging fasting or anything like that. Everyone, do what they want to do.
Mm.
But look, it worked for me. I lost the weight, but you know, I probably should have aimed for that half a kilo a week weight loss and lost it
Yeah,
over 12 months rather than losing. I was losing, like, my average week was 1.2 kilos of weight loss.
yeah. You would have had
Sometimes,
more energy. Your sleep would have been better, and you probably would have put
yeah,
muscle on. If you trained in that time, put muscle on that time, you probably would have only had to drop down to maybe like 110, 120. You would look better.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, um, but yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a background on me
Yeah.
and what I've been through, and the reason I decided to jump on stage as a mature age guy. You know, also you being a couple of years younger than me, but being similar age, we can also connect in that
Yeah.
way as well. So any guys out there that are older that are looking for for potentially jumping in and getting onto a coach, Andrew's great because you can kind of relate, and you're talking to somebody who's been around for a while. You're not
Not only that, like I
you know
haven't always been a coach because I've had a worker life. I know what it's like to have a job. Yeah,
yeah. You
I've
used to
done
work on
preps.
machines.
Yeah,
You
every
know.
single well, still to this day, I haven't done a prep where I'm not working. All prep have been while I've still been working.
Yeah.
My next prep will be the first one where I'm an online coach. So I know what it's like. People like get up in the morning early, try and eat cardio, and you still got to work. I understand where people come from. It's not like I'm just like,
Mm,
oh, just get it done. I don't care. I fucking
yeah.
know that it sucks. And I was in construction, so it's like for us, we have to be at work at like 6:30.
Mm.
Most office workers are at work at 9. So we got to get up stupid early to do morning cardio.
Yeah, and generally, it's with the like because I come from the same industries as Andrew. I was in civil too. I mean, your general days were 10-hour days. Like that was the
Mm.
expectation. So you would 7 till 5,
Yeah.
7 till 4, like they were standard days. And it's you think to yourself that for example, like people's like that work out in the mines and they drive trucks, for example. That's still mentally draining. Like
Oh
that,
yeah.
it's maybe not be physical, but mentally. The other thing is that no one really knows until they do a prep is, and you and I have spoken about this a few times, how often you need to go to the toilet.
That's all, yeah.
It is. I nothing is prepared. Like my normal nights now are 5 times a night.
Yeah.
And I've tried all the tricks, like we've tried magnesium, I've tried a little bit of bicarb and all this different stuff, and it it doesn't work. I cut liquids off at 7 p.m. It's still, you
Mm.
know, like clockwork, every hour and
There
a
is
half to two
there is a
hours,
pill you can take, prescription one, but it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's just part of the process, isn't it? It's part of the, you know, doing a bodybuilder prep is you just got to go to the toilet a lot. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that we can connect on that level as well, because you're not, you're not like, I don't know, I'm not holding this against anybody else, but
Mm.
I wouldn't be doing coaching with someone in their mid-20s. Let's just say that, because you can't really relate to life experience either
Yeah.
and what you've been through, and so yeah, so the fact that you and I connected so well together was the thing that pushed me to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I've done it now, because look, I know I put the effort in, mate, but if it wasn't for you, I would not have got down to, I don't even know what percentage body fat I
Yeah.
was, but when I got down to cap weight, you know,
Yeah, we'll get
98.5.
there
I got
again. We'll get there again before
mm,
carb-up. But what do your parents
mm.
think now that they see you now? You're like, oh fuck, it worked, or like, what are
um they don't understand it.
yeah.
Like mum's biggest thing was, like, my family's very food orientated. So,
That's
and
that's that's all Western society. That's not
well,
yeah.
well, to the point where I was in a situation where once a week I'd go to my parents. They're not married anymore, but
Mhm.
once a week I'd go to mum's for dinner, and then I'd go to dad's for dinner.
Mhm.
So every single week I did that. Been doing that my whole life since.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I lived in Melbourne for 12 years, but the whole time I've lived in Adelaide,
Mhm.
I've been doing that and see my parents once a week. And I actually had to stop doing that,
You can bring your meal
because
there.
no, yeah, look, I could, but it was a time thing. So what I did was, instead of doing the dinners during the week, like on a Saturday afternoon, generally after our leg sessions,
Yeah.
I will go and see mum, go have a coffee, have a
Yeah.
chat, have a catch up for a couple of hours. And then on Sunday, Danny and I would generally go and train at Alberton, at right away Alberton on Port Road, and my dad's in Flinders Park.
Yeah.
So after we'd train there, we'd then go to see my dad for a couple of hours and have a coffee and a chat and that kind of thing, which is good because it wasn't all about catching up to have a dinner.
Yeah.
So, but my parents, they just don't understand it. They don't understand that mum still thinks that it's unhealthy. I was explaining to mum what the carb up was the other day,
Yeah.
and she's like, well, she's like, oh, that's not healthy. I'm like, mum, why?
Yeah.
Explain to me why. Like I had my auntie, for example. I told her that I said, oh, I've pretty much eaten the same thing every day for 5 months.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes is the quantities of those ingredients.
Mm.
And by the way, you kind of have to really lock into that, guys. If you get your nutrition given to you, don't
Yeah.
try to change it every week. Like once you're locked in, just lock into it. But yeah, like, and my auntie was like, "Well, that's not healthy." I'm like, "Really? Why?" She
Right.
goes, "Oh, it just isn't." She's
That's
like, "I'm like,
crazy.
well, can you explain to me why?"
Yeah.
Like, they just a lot of people think, unfortunately, bodybuilding has an unhealthy culture behind it. People,
Uh,
the idea is that basically all those big guys out on stage are just full of drugs and they're dying at a young age and everything. And look, unfortunately, there's been a lot of deaths in bodybuilding, which is really sad. But you know, it it's like anything though. Like, I mean, you look, for example, like that would be like me, for example, in Australia, the most dangerous industry I believe is truck driving.
mm,
It'd be like being a truck driver. You do it with the understanding that there is a risk. There's a risk in everything that you do, but we are doing it, and I keep telling my family this. We are doing it in the most healthiest,
mm,
controlled way that you can, and that's why having somebody like you in my corner to help me with all that, and the blood work proves it that it
mm.
works. That's important. So, all my family are coming on next Sunday though.
Yeah.
Um, so that'll be good. They'll yell out and they'll support. My my parents will be there. I've got friends coming and stuff like that. My partner's going to be there too. Obviously, she's going to come across to Melbourne with me for the week. So yeah, they're very supportive. They're proud of me because I've always been I from the age of like 23, 24 to 37, 36. I would say I was morbidly obese. So they've seen their son be very, very, very unhealthy, and not happy either. Let's be honest, like I wasn't happy. And my mindset has completely changed. I mean, I'll always have in the back of my mind that, you know, um, I guess what do you call it? That fat person brain,
Yeah.
where I'm not as confident as I should be. Like I still, even today, like I still get a little bit funny about taking my
Self-conscious.
top off, and yeah, self-conscious about taking my top off in public.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, we all just know. You know what I hate? Society's made us feel like that. Like you walk around a single, some people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, what is it that unnormal that I have muscle? It's like society's gone so fat that we're the outliers now.
I
The
know. We're the
healthy
ones. Like,
disease.
so if we bring our dinner with us out to a dinner function, people think we're strange, but it's okay. They'll just sit there and
Eat crap.
eat all that crap food and drink all the alcohol. But do we judge them though?
Mm.
We don't
No,
judge them. We don't say
we
anything.
don't care.
We don't care. Like if they want to live an unhealthy life, and that's up to them. Like I'm not going to, But the fact that we've decided to live a healthy life, is and we get judged on it, or people commented about it, or they kind of. But then again, though, my theory is people that make comments like that about people that are better in their lives, there's an underlying issue behind
Yeah,
them actually saying something. They've got their own issues anyway, like
it's
so.
like a bit of jealousy and envy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I just take it with a grain of salt and just
You
go,
tell
look.
me if they didn't have to change anything, they could keep living their life eating whatever. Don't change a thing, but they could look like us. They fucking would in a heartbeat.
Oh,
I
of
fucking
course they
tell
would.
you right now.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
Of course they would. I mean, if you could eat 10,000 calories a day of junk and crap and look like like us in our current state, of course you'd do that
Yeah.
because like sugar is it's an addictive substance that
Yeah.
gives you that bit of good feeling, and
You know, it's
I
like
think that
food is so highly palatable now. Like it's so processed, so much flavor enhancers. Where when you go into prep, like things that you're like, yeah, are okay, like green beans. But then when you're
mm,
hungry in prep, you're like, man, these taste amazing. Like your palate
oh
changes so much when you're hungry. You're like, fuck,
oh
I
like a
love
tomato,
vegetables.
like
Yeah.
it's or even like the yolk from the egg.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good when you're
See
hungry,
that
isn't it?
that's what humans should be like. we've made flavor go so fucking intense that you tell even someone to cut their calories from going from zero sugar drinks, sorry, from sugar drinks to zero sugar. Oh, it tastes like shit. I'm like, yeah, but you got to
Mm.
get used to it. You got to go through that
Yeah.
transition because your palate's so fucked.
Yeah, like I remember when I was doing my fasting when I couldn't have milk in my coffees anymore. So it took me a good week to
Mm.
like be able to consume a black coffee without having milk and sugar in it. And then it's to the point now where if I had a black coffee and I put even if I put Splenda or something in there, I just nah.
Yeah.
Like I remember after the season A show when um we went to the cafe, um Cam, Beansy, you and me,
Oh
and
yeah. And I got
your
the
little
hour.
yeah, and your little cheat meal was you had a coffee with milk in
Yeah, skinny cat.
it. Yeah, so I was like, well, that probably wouldn't have been my choice, but like because I personally I don't like milking. I actually don't really like milk, to be honest with you. Now
Mm.
it's put me off. I'm not really too into it, but yeah,
Unless you're
like
putting rice milk in your cream of rice.
that's nice. Now I had that for the first time on our first carb up,
Yeah.
and that is just like that is
Decent.
good. And then and then putting the cereal on top. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So yeah, I I find that when you are on when you are on prep and you're on less calories, food just tastes so much nicer, and you always use the
Mm.
smallest utensil you got. Like I've got two in my drawer. I've obviously got like teaspoons, and then I've got two really tiny ones that are don't even know where they came from. I think that maybe my old man got from him or something, but they're tiny little teaspoons. And when I have like my cream of rice and or I have my morning oats, I can eat a 60-gram oats, 40-gram protein, which is remember that was my lower
Yeah.
my lower breakfast. I could eat that in half an hour.
Yeah.
Or just nibble on it, but you have to though because you're like I've got like 4 hours till my next meal. I need to make this last,
Yeah.
and you know, and like you've asked my mum, she used to as a kid growing up, even as an adult, Peter, slow down, you eat too
Yeah.
fast, constantly. Because I used to eat like a bloody pelican
Which is
because
bad for
I just
digestion as well.
yeah, that's right. I always used to feel like shit afterwards. But like I used to eat like a pelican because there was so much food in my house. Like I said, like I was a food house.
Yeah.
I just keep going and going. There was always more food to eat. So when you've got that when you've got your meals all planned out and you're like, okay, I've got 3 or 4 hours before my next meal. I need to eat this slowly. Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
There's
Like
no there's
you
no
do.
going to the pantry and I'm like, fuck, I'll eat a box of shapes between this meal.
No, no,
Yeah.
there's anything. There's like I need okay. Well, I'm hungry. I need water. And look, I think, and I know you've brought this up in the past. I reckon that a lot of my eating issues in my past when I was larger was because I was dehydrated,
Yeah.
because I wasn't drinking enough. Like pre doing like prep with you, I reckon I was only drinking 2 liters of water a day, and that's
Mm.
nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
And now I'd be doing. I've got this like thermos container which is 1.2 liters. I'll drink that 5 times a
Yeah.
day, fill it up, and sugar-free cordial,
Yeah.
game
Diet right.
changer.
Yeah.
Yeah, diet right. They've got the 5 fruit flavor. That's my favorite, but they only sell it.
Oh, the
At,
multi-fruit.
yeah, the multi-fruit, but
Yeah.
they
Do you
don't
know what
sell
that
it at
reminds me of? It
Coles.
reminds me of breakfast juice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I make
B
I make mine way too strong, but
that's what oh, me too. B has that one. I love the guava and the apple raspberry.
yeah, I've got every
Yeah.
flavor. I actually sometimes add them
Yeah, mix
together.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mix them together and
Yeah.
they give it like a different flavor. But like
Yeah.
the multi fruit ones, like our local, like because we live around the corner from each other, our local Coles doesn't sell it, but the Woolworths does. So I literally just go to Woolworths just to get that flavor of cordial
Oh, yeah.
on the way back from the shop sometimes when I'm running low.
Yeah.
But yeah, you find ways to keep yourself fuller by like eating slower, drinking more water, and that was all stuff that you were telling me about as well.
Yeah.
Just make sure,
And
just
the carbonation stuff.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, so the eating, I've only done a, I we haven't done a proper growth yet, which we'll probably do after Melbourne, depending on what
Yeah.
my results are. But like even now, you're saying that you're what on 5'1", 5'2", something like that, and you're hungry,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm
Um,
starving.
yeah. So I mean, obviously we're a little bit different. What were you? What were you yesterday? Were you 120?
Yeah, I was 121.7, and today I was
Yeah.
122 on the dot. So pretty heavy.
Jesus, and you're
Especially
lean
for
as
what,
well.
5 foot 6.5,
Yeah,
171 centimeters.
and you're lean. So like, so it's pretty it's pretty unbelievable that you're eating that many calories, but you're still hungry. But I understand why you're still hungry because your body would be using
Yeah.
every single nutrient that you're consuming, and
It's the
Cam would have
lean,
it
the
set up,
leanness
and
as well. You know, like me and
yeah,
you, our bodies are used to being, because I was a fat kid as well. Our bodies are more comfortable with, they want a bit more fat on them. So we'll keep eating until we get to a certain body fat. And then I know when I get to certain fatness, my hunger just hits like a massive wall. As soon as I get to that
yeah,
body fat, my body knows. So I have no morning
yeah,
appetite, and then my appetite goes.
yeah, yeah.
So one thing we'll cover is what
Mm.
what do you think prep? What was what you thought prep would be like versus what it was like?
Okay. So now this comes back a lot to your preparation with me. So everything that I've and this is everything that I hear, especially online about prep, is it's so hard, and you're going to get this, and you're going to feel like this, and you're going to feel terrible, and you're going to be blah, all this kind of stuff. Now, I haven't actually had that experience. The only time I've ever felt terrible on prep was those 3 low days of carbs. That's it.
Yeah, when we tried the
But
high fats.
yeah, the higher
Yeah.
fats. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I love the almond butter. I love almond butter, but that's probably those 3 days were the only ones where I'm like, this is tough. Well, I had to actually tell you. I was like, mate, I'm not able to do this very much
Mm,
because it was just tough for me. Like, look, if it's something that we've got to do on peak week, then so be it.
mm,
Because I really don't have to exist.
yeah.
Like I do have to exist, but I could literally just, you
But you
know,
know what an end still means as well.
and exactly, and,
Yeah.
it, and it's you know, it's not having to also, but that it's not having to function in a normal working way as well. But those 3 days are probably the only real tough days. But I thought it was going to be really difficult. I honestly did, and because everything I've seen is, I grew up. I'm like I said, over 40, so I grew up watching late 90s, early 2000 bodybuilding. So like Lee and Ronnie and
Mm.
all them. Now, what they would do is they would get really, really, really fat in the off season, and then they would just diet hardcore leading up to it. Most of them did anyway.
Especially Lee
Um,
Gates.
yeah, yeah. Oh, geez, he was a nug, wasn't he?
He used to say he should have bought shares in fast food.
Yeah, he's just eating KFC and stuff. But then you
Yeah,
got someone like, then you've got Jay Cutler. I remember seeing a video that he posted a few years ago where he ate KFC for the first time in his life.
yeah.
Where but yeah, I thought it was going to be quite difficult. I thought I was going to be starving all the time. I was going to be miserable. I've had my days where I've been hungry. When we had our was it 2,300 calorie days or
Mm,
2,250s, I was hungry,
yeah.
but it's very mental. It was very mental, and I'm generally a pretty mentally strong and resilient person, which is one of the reasons why I decided to do this. I have to admit that I do have a very supportive partner who has been around the industry a very long time,
Yeah,
and
she knows the game.
she knows the game. She's aware of what a prep is. She's been around people in prep. She understands that, sometimes I get grumpy, sometimes I get crabby.
Mm.
And generally it's the people closest to you that cop
No,
it.
no, they notice it the most as well because they're
I
around you the
do.
most. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Like things that may have never really irritated me may irritate me slightly.
Yeah.
Not to the point where but just a little bit like,
Mm.
Um, but no, my impression or my prep, mate, has been great. Honestly, it's
So
been
you,
really
yeah, so
good.
you thought it was gonna be a lot harder than what it was gonna be.
Oh, I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. Heaps hard. I've actually enjoyed it. I've actually
Yeah,
enjoyed the prep. I've enjoyed getting lean.
that's
You know,
good.
like
'Cause, like most
I
people, I
have
think
enjoyed it.
fear it because they think it is gonna be too hard.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not. Honestly, if you do the work leading up to it and you don't just decide 3 months out, I want to do bodybuilding and have to drop 20 kilos, because I'm
Yeah,
sure you've got these people that have
yeah, that's
approached
hard.
you for that. Like that would be hardcore. But I mean, I've been sitting around the 1.5 to 1.8 mark for, I was like 3 months out. Like it
Mm,
was, but what we were able to do though was you were able to still to get me to progress in strength
mm,
as well. Now, example, I've been training, I've been with you for probably 12 months now,
yeah.
but we've been training together
I can actually look
for,
up the total weeks.
yeah, yeah,
I'll tell you what it is.
yeah, we've probably been training together for 8 months now on the doing the leg sessions. Now, as you know, my like you said to me yesterday when we were training together, like if we could swap top halves and bottom halves, that'd be fantastic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But my I'm not now that I'm this close to it, but a month ago when I was say 105 kilos, I was stronger then than I was at 120 when we started, or 118 when we started.
Not 96 weeks.
There you go. Jesus. Okay.
So probably maybe a year. Yeah, like and I was getting you like you've been crazy. I could have peaked you 3 months ago.
You even said to me we should have done season eight.
Yeah, yeah, we could have. I could have had
We
you on
could have done
subs
season
now.
eight.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that gives you an idea of the time frame. Like I want people a year before their show,
Mm.
minimum 12 months. Especially like a first timer. Maybe someone that's seasoned, I could do 6 months because they're in shape. But you're looking at
Mm.
minimum 12 months if you want your prep to be easy.
And I was nowhere near in shape. I was nowhere near ready,
Yeah,
so I needed that time,
yeah,
and like I was saying to you, I was like, if I'm ready, I'm ready. If I'm not, I'm not. I trust your
mm,
decision and what you think I should do. I mean, and obviously you got me ready for season C. So,
mm,
and not just you just didn't get me ready, but I'm ready for season C as well.
yeah,
I'm confident and happy with where I've got. But no, our prep was it's amazing. Like it was
yeah,
great. Like if everyone can do a prep like this, there will be so many more people in bodybuilding. I know there would be,
yeah.
because a
That,
lot
that,
of people wouldn't be doing it because they would be, that fear of prep and how hard it is
mm,
and how draining it is, and it's really not. It's just about doing the base work.
yeah, the time management.
Mm,
And like you said,
that's
not
right.
getting too fat in the off season. Like the fatter you
Mm,
get, just the more time you got to give yourself.
yeah, but also as the person competing, it's locking in.
Yeah.
It's actually locking in, like, and
Mm,
actually doing it right. Like, like as an example, I had, like Danny's birthday was in June, and that was during prep, and I spoke to you about that, and I ended up, you said, "Oh, look, you should be okay," but I ended up going out in May for a dinner for her birthday, even though her birthday was in June, because I knew that we'd be really in prep then, making decisions and choices like that, where you know, um, just really locking into what you're doing, and being, like I said, with a partner who understands that.
mm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
that's
you would
another good
have,
thing
yeah,
about having you ready early is like I could say that, say I'll go have a dinner. Who
which you
cares?
did,
Yeah,
which you did. You did, like, yeah, that's like, so we did. We went out for dinner. Like, we went
yeah,
and did the dinner,
yeah.
but that's being locked in so that I'm ready. And if I needed to go and have a dinner, I can go and have a dinner. It's not going
Especially
to,
because you put the work in, you can have that time off. Whereas people that they're like 80 to 85% all the time, they're always just shy of what I need from them each week.
mm,
And then they want the meal. I'm like, well, you're sort of already scraping through as it is. Whereas if you're like 100% every week, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it'd be cool if I could go have a dinner with my Mrs. Birthday. But yeah, you know what, you can because you put the work in. It's not going to make
yeah.
no, one meal is not going to do fucking nothing.
But and also, like, if you are really invested in it and you're locked into the process, you'd be like, okay, so where are we going for dinner? Okay, we're
Mm.
going to a steakhouse. Okay, let's
Yeah.
have a look at the menu before we go. Just make it, and you just make the decisions. Like, okay, so let's be honest, a steak not cooked in butter with asparagus
Yeah.
and a side of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it'll be a little bit more than what you probably would be programmed to eat, but it's nothing. It's nothing terrible. It's if you went out to say, went to an Italian restaurant and got
Yeah.
like a large linguine, bloody something, and then garlic bread and a pizza and then
Arancini
dessert and
balls.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's somebody and that's somebody if you do that and you go if you got that night off where you can go and eat and you're doing that, you're not ready.
Yeah. There's,
You're not locked
yeah,
in. You're not.
mentally, there's going out for a meal to enjoy with your partner, and then there's
Mm.
I'm going out for a meal, I'm gonna be a fucking pig.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
two different things. So,
Yeah, and I look, and I knew that I was pretty good because after we went to that dinner, so our normal go to is go to the 24-hour bakery, McConnell
yeah,
Street.
kind of,
And when I was not serious about doing what I was doing, I would literally get five or six things. I
yeah.
kid you not. I'd get one of those cardboard boxes and
Hey,
have
I've done it before.
just yeah.
My
Well,
my go-to
that's what
is
I would do.
vanilla slice, banana bread, and like a either like a sprinkled donut or a Berliner.
Yeah, so I would do whatever they do, like these weird big ass donuts, cronuts, they call them cronuts.
Oh, the
I'd
cronut.
get whatever cronut was there. I'd get a bisque off something. I'd get the pecan pie.
Or
They do these
yeah.
little pecan pies. So
Those
good.
nut slices as well are good. The
But then
chocolate one.
I'd always get those three things. So the cronut wasn't sure about, but whatever cronut was there, I'd get a bisque off and I'd get a pecan pie. And then I just randomly pick two things. Whereas, so like Danny's go to, she's a bit simple. She likes they do like a butterfly sponge cake. It's just jam and cream with like the little butterfly
Oh
wings
yeah.
on top. That's it. That's all
Yeah.
she'll have. Out of everything in the bakery, that's all she'll have. But she'll get three or four of them. Right? They're not very big, but
Yeah.
they're still decent. And so we went to the bakery after dinner. It was a nice dinner, and she got her desserts, and I got nothing.
Mm.
And I was okay about it. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything because I just said to myself, you know what? I've got my cream of rice tomorrow because I love my cream of rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've got my cream of rice tomorrow. That's my sweet treat. You
And
know?
you know what? Just about every time people do it, we like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat it. You eat it, and that's straight after you finish it, you're like, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, the guilt kicks in. You're like, oh, what did I do that for?
Yeah, I
That was
fucked up.
just
I fucked
you
up.
know, that was a 800 calorie cake, but there was nothing in there, nothing in that cake, nutrient wise, is going to be beneficial to me at all.
Yeah. Just
Nothing, just sugar, like it's and
simple
some
sugars
carbs, like
and probably
simple sugars.
saturated fats.
Exactly, nothing
Yeah.
there that's going to do me any good. So, yeah, just being locked in for a prep really helps, but being ready is like, you know, that's that's just huge. So not rushing it,
Yeah.
not rushing it, and also listening to your coach. If your
Yes.
coach is saying we need to do this, we need to do that, you know what? You're not ready for season A. You may have to do season C because
Mm.
you're not ready for it. Listen to them. That's what they're there for. They're never at the end of the day. They're not going to want you to get up on stage representing them if you're not ready.
Mm.
Yeah, they're
But if,
not.
but in saying
You
that
know,
as well, if you go to a coach and say, "Do I have enough time?" and they accept the challenge, they should have you ready.
correct. But if they're
Yeah.
telling you no, you're not ready, we shouldn't be doing this. We need to maybe look at doing the next lot of
Mm.
shows. You really you need to listen. But
Yeah.
also the other thing as well is if you're looking for a coach, don't get a yes coach.
Yeah.
Do not get a yes coach because you will not progress. I would not be with a yes coach. If you were a yes coach, Andrew, it would
Yeah.
not have worked
If
because
you, I've had clients like that, trust me, where they're like, "Oh, can we change this?" They start, if you say yes to all of them, they basically end up back where they were. They're eating the same thing before you were in coached and they're just making no results. You have to tell them, no, no.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You have just got to tell them. You know what? At the end of the day, if people are like, he won't let me have this and he won't let me have that, and I wanted to have a cheat meal, blah blah, then you probably not you don't
Yeah.
align anyway, so you shouldn't be working
And you
together.
know what? The people that normally ask for that are the ones that don't put the work in to deserve that stuff anyway.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we went through the lowest point was the low carb, high fat
Hmm.
thing. That was the that was the lowest point in conjunction with the lowest mental point as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Yeah.
so obviously the cravings and all that, like hunger, it's all been pretty manageable, like you said, because we've had time to have high days and that. We've never really had to fucking go dig you like stupid long periods.
No, I think the longest was a week.
Yeah.
I think it was a week, and it was annoying, but it was manageable though. But in the end of the day, my weight loss stalled anyway, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the weight's going about because your body, the thing is, because where we're at now, we've hit cap, we practiced carb up 8 weeks out, which is good because I knew that
Mm,
it's going to be a struggle to make cap. And I know if I didn't want to carb up too close to show, because we would have been struggling to get back down. So now we're sort of cruising. I don't mind that you're about 5, 6 kilos over the cap because it's a lot of water. Because we have
mm,
been to cap, we haven't eaten enough to put the fat back on. It's just a lot of information water. So I know when we peak week, which starts in like, 4 days, whatever.
mm.
It wasn't today, Thursday. So we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got 3 days till peak week.
Yeah,
And it's like, all right, we might have to go drop a few carbs, bit of sauna, a little bit up the cardio, but it's like, 4 or 5 days max, and then it's bang with fucking you've got your fucking 1,800 carbs.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
So since we've sort of covered everything, because we can't cover show day and peak week yet,
Mm.
tell everyone about your experience with the practice carb-up.
Right. So that was an experience. Actually really I really enjoyed that. So we did we did 5 meals,
Yeah,
2 out. It was based on like blood glucose
yeah,
testing and my levels, but primarily they're about 2 hours, 2.5 hours apart from each other. Meal one was what, probably 400 carb or something like
and we had to
that.
start. We're simulating after check-ins because we
Yeah,
were struggling to make weight. So your first meal had to be at like mid
I
at
let,
the earliest 10:30.
yeah. So what we did, so we've done this twice, obviously. So first time we did first meal was at 11 a.m. So that which is pretty much going to be in line with
Yeah,
next
next Sunday.
Saturday. Cans at 10. Then we'll be doing weigh in, which will probably
Yeah,
be 10:30,
yeah,
and then first meal would probably be between 10:30 and 11 o'clock.
yeah,
So first meal at 11. Second meal was really good. Um, and my blood glucose was really stable as well for the whole
yeah. It's
day.
pretty
Like
good.
it was really good. I enjoyed the experience. I woke up the next day, so I went to bed at, I think I could be wrong here, but I think I went to bed about 109 kilos,
Yeah, I reckon about
and I
that.
woke up the next morning at
I was around
104.7.
105.
Yeah, 105 the
So you
next
put on like
morning.
6 kilos or something.
Yeah, and
You're
like
99. Yeah,
yeah, and my God, did I look different?
yeah,
Wow, like I actually went and trained at right away at Manapara on the Sunday and did a leg session. That's right, did a leg session.
yeah,
And my list looked awesome. Like it was, and I remember I got Danny to take some photos for me and just, like that carb up was fun. That was really good. I enjoyed that. It was the the second meal with that much honey. It was difficult to kind of get
yeah.
it down. I was starting to get that
The
just
sweetness, flavor
so
fatigue.
sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did swap out things for the second one where we just did a little bit more jam and
Mm.
for a bit of honey and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the process. I'm glad we practiced it because that would have been a shock for me to do it the day before we jumped on stage.
Mm.
So I know exactly what to expect. I prep all the food, everything. It was basically spent the whole day eating, because it takes 30 to 45 minutes to eat the meal. Like we worked it out to one liter, not including say like the rice milk and the protein
Yeah.
shake and that kind of thing per
1 liter
meal.
per meal. Yeah.
1 liter per meal. So it ended up being 6.8 liters, I believe, over the whole day
Yeah.
of liquid from 11 a.m. till I think it was about 8 p.m. when I finished. Um, yeah, no, woke up the next day feeling really good. Like I felt fantastic. I was like, if
And what
this is
happened
what
to
I'm gonna.
what happened to your bathroom times the day you were carving up?
Oh, I didn't go to the bathroom until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. That's how much from peeing every 15 minutes to like
Mm.
twice in the day.
Yeah, literally, like because yeah, we because the night before we stopped liquids at 6 p.m. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly, because I was so thirsty the next
Yeah.
day.
Because we're simulating to make weight cap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so which is probably going to have to do the same thing, if not
Yeah.
if not earlier next weekend. So we cut liquids out at 6 p.m. So I was really thirsty the next day. I reckon the last time I went to the toilet was probably 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
And then I literally didn't go because I remember actually telling you about it.
Yeah.
I actually went to, I was like, I just went to the toilet for the first time. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'd had 11 a.m. one. So that was my third meal. So that was 3 liters of water
So
plus
it's
the
like a
two
thousand
two cream
carbs
of
deep.
rice. Yeah, the two cream of rice as well, which had they were 125 grams of cream of rice. So that times that by five for your liquid.
Yeah.
So there's another one point something liters. So I was probably 4 liters down before I actually went to the toilet.
Yeah.
Um,
It shows how
so
empty you were, how much
oh
water.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll do the same thing as well for post Adelaide show and then obviously post nationals. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it was a good experience. I really didn't mind it. I just had to. I also made that the reason why the second meal was the hardest because first meal was cream of rice, second meal was cream of rice was because the second meal cream of rice is and this is no plug at all, but Atlas their chocolate they've got a chocolate fudge brownie cream of
Yeah.
rice. It's up there with Strom, probably with carrot,
Yeah.
with the Strom one. But that chocolate was so cakey and
Too
so
thick.
thick. I made it so cakey. Unfortunately, that was my own fault for making it so cakey that it literally felt like it was twice the
Yeah.
amount as
That's
the
probably because you
first one.
overcooked it.
No, I did. It
Yeah.
was so cakey. So I got through it, but it was a struggle. So yeah, no, it was an enjoyable experience. I had obviously you were monitoring with me the whole time, which is great.
Mm.
So once again, being supported by your coach, not just going, all right, here's your meals. Speak to me later on that night.
Well, I came and
You
saw
know,
you
like
before the last meal as well.
correct, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Beezy came over and saw me. We should have probably like Beezy probably should have like had a chat and actually recorded that
Yeah.
conversation because that was pretty good actually because it was fresh. But
Sometimes things are in the moment and they're best left that way.
yeah, we did photos before each meal, weights as well. So I sent all
Posing,
that info through to
posing
you,
around.
posing
Yeah,
around.
BGL, we're checking blood
Yeah.
glucose. And if it was above 6 nanomolar, we would
What did
go on
I? What did I?
15-minute
15
walk,
minute
brought it
walk,
straight back
and it was
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the highest I got to was I reckon I got to 9.4 or something like that. And then you just go walk for 15 minutes. And we walked and it dropped down to five.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's literally
So
that's people don't understand. Like that's why I tell clients all the time, fucking get your steps in. And I hate it when they're like, "Oh, I did just a huge block in one day." I'm like, you got to break it up. It
yeah,
just shows
so
you there, like your blood glucose is sky high. 15-minute walk, fix it straight up.
so I made the investment of I actually bought myself my own treadmill.
Mm,
Like not top of the range or bottom of the range. It was a decent treadmill. And that has been, I've got a TV. This is in my garage. I've got a treadmill. I've got a TV. It doesn't matter. There's no excuses for the weather. Like you
yeah,
can't, I didn't do my steps today because it's raining outside. I don't have to drive to a gym. I know you're lucky you've got a fitness factory across the road, so you're good. But I literally get out of bed, chuck on some clothes, walk downstairs, jump on the treadmill, do my morning steps. And if I'm home, like after dinner, straight after dinner, 15, 20 minutes,
mm,
like today's a rest day. I've got 10,000 steps to do. I've done 5, 6 so
yeah,
far. So
yeah,
after lunch, I'll do another 15 minutes. After dinner, I'll do another 15 minutes. That'll get me up to close to my
mm,
10, So, I mean, I know obviously everyone can't do that. They don't want to do that potentially. But for me, that's been really good. Like
mm.
that was a good investment for me was that treadmill. Um, you've got me doing bike now as well, which I'm kind of getting used to. I'm enjoying that more now that I've got used to the feeling of sitting on those rock hard seats where
I'm surprised you do
when
on the
you,
seated bike because I do them on the recumbent.
yeah, I tried that and that just, I don't know, it feels goofy for me. But when you're this lean and you've got no body fat anywhere and you're sitting on like
Yeah,
a hard bike seat, so I actually might try the recumbent bike because
yeah.
they've got a
And put
much
it
better
put
seat
a
on them.
towel or something under your bum as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah,
I even noticed the last month where you're walking around with no shoes on and it hurts.
yeah. Using the fat on your feet.
There's no fat on the bottom of your feet, so you've got to like now I'm home, but I'm wearing UGG boots. Like I've
Yeah,
got some nice padded UGG boots that I wear
yeah,
everywhere. That's also the Like you just can't. I just can't do it. And the cold, the temperature.
Yeah.
This is the coldest winter, even though it's not. I lived in Melbourne for over 10 years, and it's colder in Melbourne than Adelaide. This is the coldest winter I've ever experienced.
Yeah, because you got no insulation now when you bleed. That's
No,
actually
I
that's a good thing to bring up. People don't realize how much you feel hot and cold.
oh, both of
You
it.
you
Yeah,
feel
like
different, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing season A one time because at least season A you're doing your preps during summer.
Mm.
But I mean, and you've done season A, so what was that like during summertime being that lean? How did you go with the heat? Could
Yes,
you
it's actually
regulate
easier
the
to cut. It's
temperature?
actually easier to cut in winter because shivering burns more calories, believe it or not.
Mm.
But yeah, in the summer it's more fun because you're not as hot. You know,
Yeah,
as
so
you're
you
drying
don't.
down, you cool down because
Yeah.
because of I mean, it's nothing. It's I guess it's not really to do with body fat in the summer with the heat. It's more the fact that because you're not eating in a surplus, you don't have that thermic effect of energy by burning the calories because you got no energy to burn. Your body's not running hot. Like now, I'm
Mm.
hot now, you know, because I'm eating so much. But like
Yeah.
when you as soon as you drop your food, you know straight away your core temperature drops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prepping season, A season, they're just this basically works out the same. It just depends whether you like. I think people normally diet through winter and do season C because you miss out on less because there's generally less activities over the winter. Whereas like you
Mm.
start dieting over Christmas, New Year's, and that's where people generally cave in.
Yeah, that would be a lot more difficult. A
Yeah,
lot more social events are on, and barbecues and all that kind
yeah,
of stuff. But like you said, if you're locked in, you take your food with you anyway.
yeah,
The only other thing is that I mean, and I do my check-in photos are in the garage,
mm,
but even in the garage, bloody hell, it's cold.
yeah,
Especially if you're starting work, you got to be at work at 7, so you're up at 5 a.m. As you know, I'll send my check-ins to you at 5 o'clock in the morning
yeah,
sometimes during the weeks. What about like you're doing on your balcony,
yeah,
or people that do it in their backyard, like in the middle of winter at 5 in the morning when it's blisteringly cold, and you've got to do them. You can't
yeah,
just not do it. Oh, it was too cold, coach. You couldn't do a
yeah.
check in this morning. You know what I mean? Like you've got to do it. Like so that was for me. Like even in the garage, that was cold. But yeah, the amount of like difference it makes being this lean and just how cold it is
Did,
just
when you were having your carb up to 1,800 carbs, just is around 10,000 calories, a little bit shy. Did
mm.
you notice your body temperature rise that day? Yeah.
I was on the couch. Yeah, I was
Sweating.
just hot. I was
And
hot.
yeah,
It was,
you
and it
actually
was,
find yourself out of breath as well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, day number, the second time we did it, it was actually like really cold that day. Like it was, I mean, Mum came over to see me in the afternoon, and she had like two jackets on. Like it was freezing cold, and I had the heater. I had a little heater set up in front of me just down by the TV, and I had to keep turning it off because I was just cooking. And I had my
Yeah.
pumpcast. I had my pumpcast hoodie on, and that's it. And like I was trackies, and I was blisteringly hot, and it was with that extra food. And it's I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably because of the body trying to process everything and
Yeah.
just go, it's just getting hit with all these carbohydrates, and it just needs to process it all. So the thermodynamics just go through the roof. But yeah, so
The
no, there's
byproduct of creating ATP, like, yeah, digesting is the byproduct. It's just like a
mm,
car, right? You got exhaust fumes of the byproduct. We get heat,
mm,
thermal
yeah.
energy.
So no, I am looking forward to seeing what we look like carved up. Sorry, what I look like carved up with the
Mm,
tan done as well,
mm.
which will be pretty cool. But I've enjoyed the prep so far. I have to say a lot of it would have to do with yourself being obviously my coach, but also I made the decision to do this,
Mm.
um, and I think that's really important. Anyone that is going to jump up on stage, they need to be really, really, really certain that there's something they want to do because as you know, mate, it controls a lot of your life. Like it takes up so much time. You don't even realize like the I mean, now that you're obviously coaching, just obviously you still work here at home, but you're coaching full time. But prior to that, when you're out working on the machine and working 10 hours a day, cooking your food, cleaning the
Mm.
dishes, like getting your steps in, training, and everything. When you are getting a little bit like, and I haven't got it as bad as some other people would have, but when you're depleted that much, everything takes longer, and you've got to really like. Sometimes you'll get a chopping board and a knife out, and you'll get out your potatoes, and then you'll just come back, and you'll be like, "What did I do? Hold on a second, I've already cut my potatoes."
Yeah.
Like things just can be more difficult.
Prep brain.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Prep
You'd be
brain.
like, I was going to do something. You're like, oh, I'll do that. I'll message that person. You pick up your phone, like, what did I pick up my phone for? You know?
Yeah, so it does. It takes up a lot of time, and then there's the other side of it where because you're not as sociable as you may have been in the past with your social network, your friends, you'll be surprised how many people drop off
Mm,
when you stop going out for dinners and all that kind of stuff. You'll be surprised how many people will just all of a sudden start drifting away,
yeah.
and that's okay because they they're it depends. It depends on the friendship really. Like I've got a few friends they'll be there forever. Doesn't matter it doesn't matter if I don't speak to them for 3 months. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't, you know what I mean? But there's a few people that I used to spend a lot of time with and hang out with, and finish work during the week and go and hang out with them and stuff like that. But you just can't do it because you've
Yeah.
got to go train. You've got to get your steps in. You've got to go home and cook. You know what I mean? Like, and you've got to live life. You've got to do your job, and
Mm,
there's only so many hours in a day. If you finish work at 6 p.m. and then you've got to go and do half an hour of cardio, and you've got to do an hour to an hour and a half in the gym, and then you've got to go home and you've got to cook, and you've got to prep for the next day, and then you've got to get up at 5 a.m. and do steps. Like that's pretty much it. That's
yeah.
everything's done. Like
Priority.
it's,
That's why you make
you know what I
new
mean?
friends. You have those people at the gym where
Yeah.
you give the head nod to, or the people that
Yep.
say, still doing good. Yep. Yeah. There's the little comment people, or the people they have stories with.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is obviously my first go around, but I'm sure that I will make connections and friendships through bodybuilding,
Mm,
not just Adelaide but Melbourne as well, but also like I actually classify you as a friend as well. You
mm.
know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
we've
Family
kind
now.
of
Team EVU.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like like I I haven't just you're not just a coach to me, you're also a mate, and
Mm,
you're a good mate, So you'll meet people in the industry, and you know generally everyone's got the same general mindset and the same drive and ambition. I find that like I go to gyms where some people that will be competing against me train, and everyone's friendly.
mm.
Everyone's nice and just says hello and everything like that. Obviously, you're scoping each other out,
Yeah.
how they're looking, but you still everyone's friendly and nice. So, if anyone's watching this that's at any of the Adelaide Show or the Melbourne Nationals, come up and say hi. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, just come up and have a chat. Really, I really I like being around positive people with
Yeah.
positive mindsets, and likewise, you see Andrew, approach Andrew
Yeah.
if you're looking,
Come say
if you're
hey.
looking at, if you just want to, speak to somebody who actually cares and is really, really invested in the industry, and just chat with Andrew. Like um, it's funny you see like a lot of people look at, no, I'm not saying we're massive guys or anything, but
Yeah.
look at big guys in the gym and they're like, oh, no, they look angry, they look blah blah. But I think the majority of the time, like the biggest guys are the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, like they are just the nicest guys. Like like for example, Dave. The first time I saw Dave's, I was like, whoa. But he's not he's lovely. He's such a nice
Yeah.
nice person. You know what I mean? Like it's just come and say all the people that are at that are training that see someone around them that's like obviously in good shape and you'd assume they know what they're doing. Just go and say hello.
Mm,
Just introduce yourself. Go and say hello and just I mean, a lot of the times, um, I will if people come up to me and they chat to me, I'll talk to them and they'll ask me what I'm doing and I'll just tell them straight out and say, you know, the biggest, they're like, what's the biggest thing you've done? I said, the biggest thing I've done is I've got a coach.
good coach. Yeah.
I've got a coach. That is just
And
because
even I have a coach. Like you
mm,
always need accountability, and you need an
yep,
extra set of eyes that you're not emotionally invested. You need someone that's outside.
yep, yeah, exactly. Like you know your body, you know
Yeah.
what works for you and what doesn't work for you, but also so does Cam.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And like you were saying, you know, like you were saying the other day, you know, your calories are going to be bumped up 200.
Yeah.
Like that was exactly what Cam said as well. Like
Yeah.
bump them up. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it was just, yeah. Like I think that's if anything, the biggest thing you can do for your fitness journey is to get a good coach.
Mm.
A good coach.
And like you
There's a
said,
lot, you know.
one that you resonate with. That
Yeah,
matches your
exactly.
vibe.
Exactly. Like, you know, there's some coaches that I potentially wouldn't get along with. I think, you know, like I said, one of the reasons why you and I get along so well is because I can connect with you,
Mm.
not just, you know, also because I feel like you and I have similar experiences and we've got similar life experiences and you know, we're similar age group as well, which for me is important.
Mm.
You know, you've got a maturity about you, which I find important as well because you know it's you and I can play around and we can have a joke, but when it's serious, and we both know that.
And I think
Um,
if people want to do go into a prep as well, I don't know why people get a coach that hasn't even done it themselves at least a few times. Like, you know, I've done heaps of preps. I've done a natural prep. I've done enhanced preps. I've been a lucky. I've been a boss. I've done it all. I've done preps. I don't know
mm,
why you'd go to a coach who's the same age as you if you're young, no experience, and expect them, if they're the same age as you, why would they know more than you? You know, like, how much
mm,
are you going to learn? If you're like 25 and under, how much are you really going to know?
exactly.
You know?
Exactly, and the other thing I do like that you've started doing as well is you're also doing a lot of extras,
Mm,
like you like basically you know all of your workbooks and
mm,
everything that you're doing. It just shows that you're. I'm not taking it away from anybody. What any online coach what they do is how they do it and everything, but you're not just about putting up photos of yourself and promoting your three or four top
athletes,
competitors.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like athletes, you actually put the hard work in. Like when I was over at your place the other day, you were showing me like the training modules that you know
Oh yeah.
that you that you're building at the moment. Like you don't need to do that, but
Mm,
you're doing it because you obviously you're passionate about it, but also you want people to have the information there as well,
mm,
so they understand what's happening, why their body does things in a certain
yeah.
way. What happens when you break down a you know complex carbohydrate, break down a fat, break down a protein, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like it's because you're really investing in the industry,
Yeah, because
not
I
just you know.
genuinely love learning how the body works and how to manipulate it.
Mm,
Another thing is like if you coaches, if they don't tell you why they're making changes, like if you ask me, or generally I do tell you explain, but if you ask me, oh, why are we making that change? I'll tell you why I'm making that change because I
mm,
know. Whereas a lot of coaches, they might, this is how you really get down if they know what they're doing is question everything. Why are we doing
yeah,
this? What's this for? What, you know, like the more you question your coach, the better it is. Because if he can't give you the answers, you shouldn't be with that coach.
yeah. Like you were saying, you know, the other day that one of your clients is looking at changing, you know, something for something else. And you're like,
Mm,
well, we could do that, but then that's gonna play around with your sodium, you know,
mm,
and then we're gonna have to change this and change that, and you know, instead of just saying no,
yeah,
no, you can't.
yeah,
But why? Because you
yeah,
know, like, well, we shouldn't be doing this because if we do that, then we have to, you know, look,
mm,
we can, but it's going to take me time to do it, blah blah, you know. So which is I like that as well. It's not
mm,
just not just a no, we can't do that, or yes, we can do that, or you know, like I wanted to do, you know, for example, when we're doing our carb up, I was like, Andrew, I'm really struggling with this 120 grams of honey.
mm,
You're like, okay, well, maybe what we can do is we can switch the jam out for the honey on
mm,
specific amounts and do half the honey, add the same amount with the jam. Because the jam, I'll be honest with you, man, I'll just get a big,
yeah.
I'll just tablespoon it into a bowl and just
I
like
was looking
wait,
the
you
other
know.
day because I love my fig jam, the bottom mum one, and it's like I
Mm,
was looking at the whole jar. I think it's 280 carbs, and it's like it's 350 gram jam. And I'm like, I'm like, I reckon you could literally probably sit there and eat that jar. So it wouldn't be that hard.
Oh, easy,
Yeah.
mate. I bought the uh, like just the Coles brand strawberry jam.
Yeah.
Like it just, oh my God, I could eat that as easily as I could sit there and eat a jar of Biscoff spread or Nutella.
Mm.
Like I do love jam. Like it is really nice. The honey is good, but it's it does get really
It's very sweet.
overpowering.
Yeah.
It gets a bit much after a while.
But see, that's
So
good. You gave me the correct feedback, and I gave
mm,
you the correct answer back to mitigate the situation. That's another thing people don't understand is communication. Like, don't hide things from your coach. Tell them
yeah,
everything. They'll tell you they'll say, look,
and
this stuff you don't really need to tell me because that's never going to change. But this stuff is good. But the more
and
you
tell him
communicate
tell
the
him if
best,
you
the better.
stuff up. If
Yeah.
you stuff up, if you like, look, everyone makes mistakes. If you have look, everyone has shit going on in their lives as well,
Mm.
and especially during a prep, like you're under that. You got stress, full stop in life. But when you're in prep, it's everything is just times 10.
Yeah.
So you may have days where you feel like absolute crap, and you may just go and get that big ass block of chocolate that your missus has been hiding in the back of the cupboard. Not saying I've done this, by the way, Andrew. You find that big block of chocolate in the back of the cupboard, and you eat the whole block, and you you've just got to be open about it.
Yeah.
But then the other reason as well is if you coach and you have that relationship, they'll be like, okay, what's going on? Like,
Mm.
why did you have the feeling that you needed to do that?
Yeah. And not only that,
And
if they do
actually,
tell you, I can go, okay, well, cool. We haven't had a refeed in a while or something. I'll be like, okay, well, that's what the chocolate's this many calories, so that macros, that's what it did to your look.
hmm,
I can reverse engineer and be like, okay, well, and then we can look at food volume. Were you hydrated? Was it a hard
hmm,
day? Like, where was the breakdown? What link in the chain broke?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Just being honest and being open, and um, which you and I have that relationship where I can be with you and you can be
Mm.
with me, which is which is really important. But yeah, no, mate, I loved my prep.
Yeah. Cool.
Honestly, like it's been, and the positive feedback from you as well when I'm doing well. Like I remember the first time you saw striations in my glutes. You're just like, yeah, we're there. We've got,
Yeah.
you're like fucking shredded. Like just that positive. And I'll get my obviously my check-ins. I'll get my video responses from you on Loom, and
Mm.
I'll watch it, and I'll just be like, I'll go up to Danny and be like, Andrew's happy.
Yeah.
Like
You
because
probably
it's
know if you see a short video, you're like, oh, it must be a good one because he's not much to
yeah,
say.
if it's under 2 minutes, you're just like, bro, you're smashing it. We're doing so good. Just keep going with what you're going. You know what I mean? Really proud of you. We're doing continue with the base diet. Like, awesome, man. So proud of you smashing it. Bang, done. You know what I mean? Like that. But when it's 3 minutes, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We need to probably do this. We need to change, do this, do that. And then like, yeah, just the communication's been
Mm.
fantastic, man. So I have to say that it has been a really enjoyable experience for me. And after we've done classic, watch out, we're going to do
Yeah, the
some growing.
bodybuilding. Well, we'll call it there because it's been an hour and a half. But
Sweet.
we'll do one maybe after nationals.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll do a peak week, like a show day, the interim phase, how we repeat, and then the reverse phase maybe as well. And we'll
yeah,
go
yeah.
from there.
Easy. Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right, so
good.
yeah. All right, we'll
All right,
take it
mate.
easy, Pete. Let's go get
Cheers.
the rest of our shit done for the day.
Yeah, eat some
We got
lunch.
boxes to tick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, nice chatting.
Thanks,
Take it
mate.
easy.
See ya. Bye.